right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the second episode of the season 4 of HSM Talks. We are live on 9 Facebook pages and groups, one LinkedIn and one YouTube. And in next few minutes, the audience will climb way above 300, 400 people. Some of you will be allowed to possibly access our StreamYard, which is a third-party software. In case if you are here, please maintain the decorum because it is a very sensitive platform. Tonight, we will talk about one more important issue which bothers every student, every parent, especially those who are looking at applying to the best of the universities, either in India or outside India. How important is this gray little word called profile? What exactly is profile? And we have none other than a very renowned counselor in the country, uh, Meenakshi Mattoo, joining us. Meenakshi carries 18 years of phenomenal experience. She has traveled the world, let me tell you. I have had the privilege and the honor of meeting her. And I can tell you, if there are a few counselors who are better than me, yes, I'm trying to be a little pompous. If there are few counselors who are better than me, then Meenakshi Mattoo is definitely one of them. Uh, Carries a degree in hospitality from IHM, diploma in global career counseling from UCLA Extension. That's my alma mater, where I went to Anderson School of Management. And again, carries a counseling certification from IE University in Spain. Worked in the aviation industry, and now possibly helped in last 8 years of her career counseling journey, possibly helped hundreds and thousands of students to get to their dream universities. Uh, she believes that one should embrace life, take leaf out of experience, and move on. Life is all about second chances, and there is always a plan B. So, yes, when I go ahead and say that there is life beyond Ivy Leagues and there is life beyond the so called ranked institutions, possibly Meenakshi will be one who would support me with her philosophy in life. And without taking much time, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, uncles and aunts, dadus and dadis, if I have forgotten anybody, Meenakshi Mattoo coming on your screen right away. Meenakshi, hi, how are you doing?
Thank you, Abhishek. I'm doing very well. Thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you
And
so
thank
much
you
for
for a
joining
wonderful
us.
introduction.
Thank you so much for joining us, Meenakshi. You know what? HSM Talks is in its season 4. In last 18 months, from zero to actually from nowhere to everywhere, wherever we are today, HSM Talks had a lot of role to play because this has made parents aware, parents empowered, students aware. And yes, we started by doing Facebook Live on one little Facebook page, and today, possibly 11, 12 platforms. You have been a witness to our journey. You have seen it all from the sidelines. Now, possibly, trying to support us as much as you can with your busy schedule. What do you feel about high school moms? What do you feel? How is it going, and how does it make a difference to the parents and the students?
Wonderful. So, just before I talk about HSM and the work that you guys are doing, led by very, experienced and an expert like yourself, I feel it's very important for us to understand that why are we all in this work together, without any, we as counselor community, I think we are a community which is all about giving and sharing. I think that's just been a motto of our, or that is just an moral value that this particular career gives us, to just give and to share and to not have anything um, which is contained with us. If we talk about learning, relearning, and sharing. So I feel that HSM is definitely an organization that I would love to be associated with, because you do such great job connecting, you know the from where you started to what you are today. I feel that you have just made yourself known through the work, through the impact that you've created with the work that you've done, touching so many lives all across the country, and then you're spreading your wings across in Asian Pacific region as well. So it's really great. So I'm really very, very grateful to be associated with you, and also in whatever little bit time that I have, if I'm able to volunteer and lend my support and my and share, and I'm able to share my knowledge with anybody, it'll be my honor. So
Thank
thank
you
you for
so
the
much.
work that you
Thank
do.
you so much for those warm words, Meenakshi. Let me tell you that there are very few people who would leave a glamorous corporate career to come into a career which is all about giving. It is which is all about making a difference to the life of a learner, making a difference to the life of their parent, and possibly you are one of those very rare people who have left a glamorous and let's accept it, traveling and aviation is definitely glamorous. So not just literally, actually, right, in
Right.
reality you left a very
Mm.
glamorous career to come into a career which is I understand what you feel for it, because it's really emotionally gratifying, and it must have taken a lot of effort for you to find your footing here, uh, because you do not
Absolutely.
come from this industry, but this is one career where you are absolutely passionate about a child's success.
Right.
You would be able to find your
Right.
footing, and thank you so much for leaving your corporate career and adding value to the lives of millions of parents and students in this country. And thank you so much for supporting high school moms. Let me also tell you before we start our conversation, I mean, actually, when I started the entire high school moms journey, a lot of people supported us, whether it was Janvi or Nagma and so many universities, and I can name it. Today, over 5,000 counselors and school principals are part of our network. Over 350 universities, you name the country, and they are supporting our work, and and 12 million parents and students. So it's been a wonderful journey, and I mean, like you said, I would also like to tell to the audience that whatever you do with passion, and parents, if you're listening to me, it is important for you to understand whatever your child does with passion, they will be able to make a difference to not only their own lives, but to the lives of millions of others. Let them follow what they want to be, let them follow their own dreams and journeys. It's not just about IIT and medical, I can tell you that. And both Meenakshi and me are classic examples that we are not IITians, and we are definitely not doctors, and we're still making a difference in the life of others. All right, Meenakshi, coming to you. First question immediately, without spending time. How important is profile? And I have been harping about this for over 2 years now on virtual platform and in my road shows, and all our internships and certificate workshops are actually targeted towards helping an average individual who does not have an opportunity to build their profile. Right? According to you, you are such an experienced counselor, possibly one of the most respected in the country, representing one of the most respected schools in the country, BD Somani. Uh, and let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if there is one counselor I respect from the core of my heart, and that's there on the screen, which is other than me, and that's Meenakshi Mattoo. Meenakshi, how important is the profile?
Uh, Abhishek, I just recently had a few interactions with my parents and students of BD Somani. It was our first interaction after 24 months of being in pandemic. And it was lovely to see the response we received from parents and students. And there was always this burning question, especially from grade 9 students, especially the students who are taking the leap from grade 8 to grade 9. How do we really build our profile? What is the acceptable norm for getting into an XYZ university? So my answer to that is that there's no definite answer to this question. There's no prescribed way of, how well will you be preparing yourself for the university. There's no definite answer to that. But it's not always about what you do that creates an impact or makes a difference. It is how you do it that counts, the kind of impact that you do with the things that you take up. And for me, the magic word is consistency. Whatever you do, whether you're playing a sport, whether you are playing some instrument, whether you are into some community engagements, or you're taking up an online course and you're trying to apply that knowledge elsewhere, all of that, whatever you do, consistency is the key. Even academics, for that matter, we are looking for a wholesome individual. We're not talking about a perfect or creating a perfect profile or creating a perfect individual. There's no such thing as perfect. It doesn't exist. It's a myth. But At the same time, what if I were to talk to you or tell parents about what universities really seek out for? They look at a wholesome individual. They look at a profile from a more holistic point of view. So they want to know whether this individual is showing a capacity of being intellectually curious. Well, what does that mean? What does intellectual curiosity mean in general? I may have done some sort of an online course, perhaps, I may have I may have taken a course to, let's say, create a prototype on drone, for example. But what have I learned from that? Of course, I have learned to how to go about, creating that prototype. But how have I applied that knowledge in the real world is what is important. Similarly, if I'm interested in psychology and I've taken some course here and there, have I applied that knowledge elsewhere? Has it really created some sort of an impact to me as a person? And of course, if it has, how have I moved it forward? If I am talented in music, if I love to learn to dance, if I love to dance, if I'm a Bharatnatyam, dancer, have I kind of what are the accomplishments that I have gained or experienced through this dance form? What are the skills that I have learned through this dance form? How do we really apply that? How do we take it forward is what is really important. I always tell my students, just if you have some knowledge, if you have some skills, don't just keep it to yourself. Make sure that you're creating an impact. Make sure that you're moving it forward, taking it one notch higher, and not just keeping it to yourself. It's very similar to my profession and my ethos and your ethos, right? Just don't keep it to yourself. Take it forward, just share it. So that is the kind of impact, that is the kind of impression that the universities are looking. They're looking at you as a global citizen. They're not looking at you, what you have done for yourself. Everybody does things for themselves. But have you touched one person's life from an engagement point of view? That talks a lot about you as a person, as your character, as your attributes, whether you're an empathetic person, you're a compassionate person or not. So all of that has to be considered, uh, you when you look at yourself as a person. So profile building is a very technical term. Let's not think about the end goal, where our characteristics and personality attributes are going to take us. Eventually they are definitely going to take us to good place, right? But the journey has to be more enjoyable, the journey has to be more experienced, and the journey has to touch people's lives. That's what I tell my students.
So, I mean, actually, wonderful insight. It is not just about yourself; it is also about making a difference to the life of people. I mean, even if it is one person, if you're able to make a difference to the life of that particular person, that would add a lot of value to your own life in terms of profile. That brings me to a very important question. People, especially students, and this is a very unethical dilemma that you have. You know, when you talk to a parent and you say that, can you please put your child into some kind of a social service, not because of college admissions, but because as humans we owe it to the world and we have to pay a rent for our place on planet earth. We should ideally do it. A parent would go and say that, let me just buy a fake certificate from an NGO. What do you have to say about this kind of an ethical unethical dilemma, right? Where parents are actually uh, are the ones who are supposed to be taught that community service cannot be replaced by a fake certificate, and universities are no fools. When you write about your in your personal statement or in your essays, or when you're called for an interview, universities are no fool to understand whether it was superficial or did you actually deep dive into it, right? So what do you have to say about that?
Great question, thank you for that. So, as you rightly said, that universities are no fools. They do understand what is fake and what is really authentic in terms of experience. It reflects through the way that the student has chosen to write their application, presented their application to universities. It reflects through their essays. Rather, before we even get to the university officials, when we as counselors have these one-on-one interactions with our students and families, we tend to know our students way better. We work so closely with our students that, you know every essay has to be approved before it actually makes it to a college application. So the essay is a reflection of a student's personality, and everything within the essay and even during in the forms that they mention has to does go through scrutiny. If they claim to have done something, we require some sort of an evidence or the other. And more than evidence, there are times that students are not able to produce that evidence, but it is the passion in which they speak to us to convince us this is the kind of work that they have put in. I can quote an example right now. I have a student, a very passionate student. She tells me one day, Miss, I would rather go to beach cleanup on every Saturday, Sunday, rather than sit and prepare for SATs. She said, for me, community service is not about, because it's going to take me to places, because it's something that the colleges are looking at for you as a candidate. But for me, it comes through within. So the passion, the compassion, and the connection with the society is something that can never be faked. You can never fake it. So some way or the other, it just comes through. And if it does, it has its own consequences itself. So I would tell the parents and the students as well that um, if you think that you can get away with that, it's more like a misconception, because the ones who are reading your applications, they are targeting your application. They're actually categorizing they want to know little bit more about yourself, not through the transcripts, but through other softer part of your application. And these people are experienced. They are the ones who've read thousands and thousands of applications, and they know which one is authentic and which is absolutely fake. So no fake experiences are ever going to be welcomed, and it's going to only cause harm and you know take you on a disadvantageous ride, is what I would say.
Absolutely. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, uncles and aunts, dadus and dadis, whoever is there to guide, even Tayajis, in my case, my Tayaji was my career counselor, even Tayajis and Chachajis and Chachis, everybody here, please understand no fake experiences can take you a long way. Uh, I am trying to share my screen and trying to show you something if I can. Uh, I'm not sure if you guys are able to see this. Is it too much? Okay, I'm not too sure if it's gonna work. All right, let me just stop the screen share. Right. Okay, let me just stop the screen share. It's not working. But let me give you two examples, Meenakshi, and this is the best way I try and explain to the kids who come to me. So रामायण का टाइम था और राम और रावण के बीच में लड़ाई हो रही थी. And both were fighting for their own self, their own persona. They had their own ways. And I'm sorry for the lights. Possibly the weather outside is not good in Goa. Anyway, so um, and both of them were big time Shiv bhakts. Okay, big time Shiv bhakts. So they started praying to Shiv, and Shiv came and Shiv said, "देखो मैं जिता तो एक ही को सकता हूँ, राइट? तो तुम अपने अपने तरीके से मेरी महिमा का गुणगान कर लो." And one of them said, Namami Shamisham Nirvana Rupam Vibhum Vyapakam Brahmaved Swarupam. And the other one said, Jatatavi Galajwala Pravaha Pavitasthale Galeva Lambe Lambitam Bhujang Tund Malikam Damak 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 Ninad Vad Damarvayam Chakar Chand Tandavam Tanu Tuna Shiva Shivam. Now, both of them actually ended up writing fabulously well about Shiv in their personal statement uh, to Shiv as the university. But you ask anybody, whoever does not even understand Sanskrit, would be able to say that the second one was written by Ravan and the first one was written by Ram, just because Ravan was more aggressive and arrogant. And in his Mahima of Shiv, even the aggression came out, whereas Ram was very softer and very down to earth, and his way of writing was very softer and down to earth. And ladies and gentlemen, please understand that so is the case with universities. When you write your personal statement and essays, they, by your text and by your writing, can figure out what kind of a student you are. And you really need to. This is the beauty of bringing people like Meenakshi Mattoo onto the session. When they speak, they give you years of experience in just about 15-20 minutes. And that's what is your takeaway, right? So when she says that do not fake it up, For heaven's sake, do not fake it up, because universities and the university representatives are trained, they are experienced of seeing thousands and thousands and thousands of applications, and they can make it out whether you have been superficial in your work or you have gone deep dived. All right, Meenakshi, couple of quick questions, and then I will allow you to go, because I know it's late at night and we have snatched you away from your family at this time. Uh, my next question to you is, um, does profile actually helps only in terms of college admissions, or we should look at it more holistically even in our own life? What do you have to say about that?
Well, I would say university admission is not your end goal. This is just a perk that you gain uh, because of the person that you have become in the journey. It's the journey that is more important. It is the skills that you have developed over a period of time through the things that you have been engaged in. It may be small. I have spoken to a few university representatives during the COVID. What really made difference to some of them, like one of the candidates had actually mentioned to them that what he or she did during COVID was he started walking his dog. One of the other students had to say that she started taking care of her grandmother. She never had spent any time with her. She started looking after her. So it is the things that you, whether the small, whether they are small or big. It's not about the intensity of the things that you are doing. It is about how much impact that you're creating through those actions. That is what makes you the person that you are. So it's about the character development. It is about the person that you're uh, making yourself to be. At the end of the day, university admission is a perk, but for me, it is never an end destination. So, what you would do, of course, if you are a wholesome person, you'll only end up being successful, being recognized, and being acknowledged in the university, and not only in university, but in the real world as well, right? But it is the real experience that you have gained through these engagements, through these activities, through your commitments, through the efforts that you have put in making yourself a person that you are today, is what matters. Because at the end of the day, they want to see the real you. They don't want to see anybody who's put up or has a disguise, because that disguise face is going to show up very sooner or later. So it makes you the real person who you are. So I think it's more about the character building than the university admission. So it's about who you become at the end of the day that matters.
It is so about who you become at the end of the day, and that's what matters. And ladies and gentlemen, we are in conversation with Miss Meenakshi Mattoo, who carries phenomenal years of experience in the corporate, in the aviation sector, left a glamorous corporate job to come and live her passion of helping students. And she's today working as the university guidance counselor of one of the finest schools in the country called BD Somani in Mumbai. And let me tell you, I've met Meenakshi personally, and if there are few people I go up to, or I look up to, possibly Minakshi is right there on the top, where I know I can possibly sit, discuss, and learn something. And I really look forward to host Minakshi on one of the counselor and educators meet we are hosting in the month of June in Goa, and hopefully she would be able to find time and visit us there as well. All right, last question to you, Minakshi, before we let you go. Uh, how do you build profile?
Nice. How do you build profile? First of all, you need to be able to manage your time well, because I believe, there are only, for everybody, there are only 24 hours a day. And there are no excuses to how are going to spend those 24 hours a day. We do get people coming up to us and say that, Miss, I can't do this, Miss, I can't do that. I have school, I have tuitions, I have so and so. But I think that you need to stop making excuses first. We need to start
Absolutely.
valuing time, and time management is equivalent to less stress management, or rather stress management later. Because if you're able to manage time now, you're able to manage stress later, right? So I would say, so stop making excuses and start paying attention, start focusing on your own strengths, and start building on that. Start listening to yourself, reflect, introspect. It's very important. So this is your first step. It's only once you introspect, then when you start focusing on your strength areas. And when you start focusing on your strength areas, you start ideating as to what are the possible avenues that you could actually look out for to build on those strengths, right? There are times that we do encourage students to, okay, fine, go attend a summer program. It also helps you, putting yourself in an environment that helps you prepare for colleges and know exactly what happens in college. You may not necessarily learn, get the world of experience through summer programs, but it will definitely give you some sort of exposure. It will also allow you an opportunity to rule out things that you may not be interested in future. So what you're doing yourself, give yourself an opportunity is what I'm trying to say at the end of the day. You're looking at your strength, you're focusing on your strength areas, but you're also giving yourself an opportunity to explore different options that are available to you. And then you start gradually ruling out, okay, this is not something that I'm interested in. So this is something it's out of the way. So let's just focus on something that really interests me. Then within that area itself, one can do an internship, one can be more consistent. As I said in the beginning, for me, consistency is a magic word. And it's one thing which is very difficult to achieve for today's generation, is because there's so much happening in our lives. We are easily, the concentration level, the attention span is so less, we just easily get bored. So that is why it's very important to go back and focus on what your strength area is and continue to build on that. That's your first step. So that's what I would say. Once you have chalked out that path, I feel everything will fall in place at the end of the day. And again, second thing for me, what again I tell my students is quality versus quantity. Never fuel yourself. Now, never burn out yourself. Putting your hands into various things, because at the end of the day, you're not going to gain anything substantial. You may get some learnings here and there, but nothing substantial that you can actually go ahead and speak with confidence with the entire world. I would rather have you do two, three activities, but again, commit commit yourself to those couple of activities. Try and develop your skills. Try and build on new skills if you haven't found your calling yet. But give yourself an opportunity is how you build profile. And again, there's
Wow.
no definite
Meenakshi
answer to
Mattoo,
it.
no, Meenakshi Mattoo, no wonder you are the Meenakshi Mattoo. But thank you so much for your wonderful insight. Ladies and gentlemen, moms and dads, uncles and aunts, like I said, dadus and dadis, and the bachas who are listening to us. Uh, like Meenakshi said, reflect, introspect, ideate, build on your ideas, build on your strengths. Don't fake, manage time. That's the manner in which you'll be able to manage stress in life. If you're able to manage time, if you're able to focus on the world at large and do not just think about yourself, possibly there are enough opportunities, whether they are summer programs or internships or community service or social entrepreneurship ventures or research, you name it, or international competitions, you'll be able to find enough time to build your own profile. Remember, it's not about holding a leadership position, it's more about making an impact. Intent is not important, impact is. And like Meenakshi said, reflection and introspection is important. I still remember one wonderful quote which said, introspect and retrospect for a better prospect. So spend time with yourself, and that's the way you will be able to chalk out a plan. Think slow, act fast is the mantra. Take time, think slow, act fast. Thank you so much, Meenakshi Mattoo. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Meenakshi Mattoo
Thank you,
on
Abhishek.
the second episode of season 4 of HSM Talks. Thank you, Meenakshi, for supporting us, and I really look forward to see you sometime very soon in person. Thank you so much. Good night. God bless.
Look forward. Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Bye bye. All right, everybody. So that was Meenakshi Mattoo. What a conversation order. Amazing. That's her experience. Her experience resonated through the examples. An experienced person will tell you that it is not about the number of activities you indulge in, it is about the quality of activities. And that's the mantra that Meenakshi left you with. Uh, I am grateful to all those counselors like Meenakshi Mattoo who come forward and support high school moms. It is your community, it is your revolution, it is your network. Just keep supporting high school moms. keep doing whatever you can do for yourself, because the day you are able to help your child as a parent to be what they want to be, that's when we will believe that High School Moms has done what it is aiming out to achieve. Thank you so much. Good night. God bless. See you tomorrow for yet another episode of HSM Talks.